We rolling. Welcome to Within the Waves. We here with.
Yo, what's up, man? It's J1GSAW, man. We in Within the Waves with Soundwave Studios, man.
Alright, so getting right into it. Right, you are, I think, my first non-local starting artist type shit. So the first question I gotta ask you is, where you from?
Yeah, I'm from Greensboro, North Carolina. I was born in Virginia, but I'm from North Carolina, and yeah.
Okay, what all you do, gang? Like everything in your art-based career. What all you do?
So I make music. I edit videos. I want to start doing show mixes. I want to do a lot of things, behind the scenes stuff in regards to music and videos. I've been working here, Soundwave Studios, editing videos. You know what I'm saying? You might see a little content come out. I might have had a hand in it, so tap in.
So, shit. With that being said, what's your biggest goals in this shit? Like music in general. Like, what's your biggest goals to come out of it?
So my biggest goal right now is just to start taking my music as serious as I can. Like, I didn't take it as serious as I did before when I first started, but one of my biggest goals is to just really dedicate myself to everything that I'm doing, especially when it comes to editing videos and stuff. My second biggest goal is to tell a story with everything I do.
You got any specific types of gas you like to smoke or whatever? Or don't tell me if that's too touchy of a topic.
Nah. So yeah, I think my top 3 strains, if I had to say my top 3 strains, has to be Venom OG, because I've had Venom OG.
Had that before. No.
That shit was good.
Yeah,
that shit was precious. White Widow, like if you could say that White Widow, like White Widow reminds me a lot of Wedding Cake, and I don't know if everybody that smoked and touched the weed and shit, really remember what that shit smoked like and shit. But it's like just the texture of that shit on some cakey shit, you know what I'm saying? But it's real, it's real potent, like that shit some straight gas. But last, man, only cause I smoked this shit so much, man, like.
Oh, I think I remember what you about to say.
Any platinum OG on some shit, cause North Carolina, that's all they smoke up there. So damn platinum OG. That shit. That's like some of the first strains I smoked. So it's just some gas.
If you had anywhere that I'm gonna ask you 2 questions in one.
All right.
If you had anywhere you could travel to, where would you go? And if you could smoke anywhere, where would you smoke? Like, and it could be the same place or 2 different places. Feel me?
Travel, I think I'd want to go to Canada. If not Canada, then I do want to go to Japan. Everybody says Japan, but I think Russia too. I want to go to Russia.
Yeah.
No, I want to go to Russia. Shit.
Yeah, that's some crazy shit, ain't it? But no, I got a feature with a Russian dude, and he a cool ass nigga, and I would love to go out there and visit my nigga. But that's me. They gonna do all that. But yeah, I can agree with you on that one. But shit. And then where would you smoke at?
Ooh.
If you could smoke anywhere in the world, like I'm talking about just a quick little
anywhere
10-minute session, or if you could just hit a bong somewhere real quick, if it's somewhere dangerous, like you could just say wild skydive.
Ooh. You know where Aurora Borealis be at?
Yeah.
In the sky and shit?
Yeah.
Where is that at? I don't even know where that shit is
at. Over there in Alaska and shit.
Yeah. Oh, some shit like that. Yeah, just the vibe of that shit. It should be fun.
So, we done talked about your genre and shit before. We locked in and shit like that, goddamn. You consider what? Grunge or horrorcore? What have you decided on?
I think I've decided on just I could say dark grunge. That's what I want to call it, dark grunge. Like, it's rap, so you know what I'm saying. It could be considered horrorcore, grunge rap on some shit like that. But eventually, my shit's gonna have a name. You know what I'm saying? A name that I come up with myself. Just I haven't figured that shit out yet.
Perfect. So with that being said, right, your name, Jigsaw, and considering the dark grunge, horrorcore grunge, I want you to let them folks know like where does that come from? Cause you know, Saw one of my favorite horror movies set like film. We talked about this before. So where does Jigsaw come from?
So Jigsaw comes from. It's got three meanings now. Cause Jigsaw, because the story I'm gonna tell is gonna be like a jigsaw puzzle, just in general. And
also connect the pieces type shit.
Connect the pieces type shit. Hell yeah. Then Saw, I go as young Kramer, you know, young Bone Saw, you know, you already know that John Kramer from Saw and everything, you know what I'm saying? But Saw was one of my favorite horror movies, you know, at least the series, because it has so many installments and just the lore behind it. You know, I'm real big on lore and stuff and backstories and shit like that. So that's where Jigsaw comes from. But also, Jigsaw from, if anyone knows, Marvel's Punisher is Russo, and I got a song coming out on the Jigsaw tapes. My album coming out in July. That shit. Y'all know who Russo is. If you know about Marvel's Punisher, you know who Jigsaw is. So we're not even gonna say no more about that. But yeah, that's what Jigsaw means.
Alright, for sure. Yeah, you walked me perfectly into the favorites. You knew that was coming.
Hell yeah.
Like he said, he got a lot to do with the behind the scenes. Shout out to Kramer Visuals, man. This nigga done put in work over here. But shit, to get into the favorites. What is your favorite song that you got out?
My favorite song that I got out? Man, just go fuck with Loomis, man. Loomis video coming out soon, man. Loomis gonna drop soon, man. You know the rights to that beat gonna get dropped soon. So we gonna drop Loomis soon, man. But go fuck with Loomis. Y'all already know where that's at. But if I had to do the one like a song that's actually out, man, y'all go tap in the Righteous Foe, man. That's one of my favorite songs from when I was a different alias, but it's still Jigsaw, you know what I'm saying? Go check me out on YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, you know. You already know what it is.
Yeah. Alright, with that being said, because you touched on Loomis, and that's been teased, but it hasn't been released, right?
Yes, sir.
Now we're going to get into favorite song, release, unreleased, when you went under them other aliases.
Shit, yeah.
Whether, you know what I'm saying? Favorite song just ever.
Favorite song ever? Man, I'll give you three. So, under my former alias, whatever that alias was, my song with Dingeon the Disciple, shout out Dingeon the Disciple, it's called Satoshi's Bat. It's really his song, but, you know, he got the sample from me. It's a Higurashi When They Cry sample, if anybody knows what that anime is. But we went hard on that shit, you know what I'm saying? That's a good one. But another two, Winter is Coming, that joint that I did here at Soundwave Studios. Winter is Coming, that's a good one.
That has been teased as well. Y'all can go check out his live performance at the Sentient Being to go hear Winter is Coming.
Yes, sir, yes, sir. And you know that's a good one. And shit. One of my first, and I say one of my hardest, Red Higurashi, which I mentioned Higurashi before, but that's a good one. Y'all gotta go tap into Red Higurashi. That's one of my favorite songs.
Okay, sure. Alright, bro. We touched on favorite strands unintentionally. We touched on favorite songs. We're gonna get into a whole different realm of this shit, right?
Bet.
What's your favorite food? I definitely gotta ask you that. You know I gotta ask you that. What's your favorite food, man?
Shit, my favorite food, man, as of right now, chicken pho from this place, Sawade Kai.
You try to be exotic.
I'm not trying to be exotic. I'm not trying to be exotic. Okay, I used to take Sawade Kai to Amazon when I worked at Amazon, like 4 days out of the week or some shit. Like I go pick that shit up before work, go take that shit into work or some shit. So, but Yeah, I love noodles and shit, you know what I'm saying? Ramen and shit like that. Now, I'm not no exotic ramen. I don't eat eggs in my ramen and shit. I don't eat rice in the ramen and shit. All kind of crazy shit, but you know what I'm saying? But
Be a basic eater.
man, that's what he said. That's what he said. But you don't know that. I
but
really tapped in. But you know, I know somebody that eats ketchup on quesadillas, bro. Oh, shout out Biohazard. Shout out Wax. That's my boy, man. Man, that's my homeboy, man.
No, that's some shit I've heard before. As wild as it is, that is some wild shit though.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
that's some wild shit.
He just that's
that's not basic.
It's not basic. So yeah, I guess you could say it is. It's different. So yeah, it is. Okay, so you got me there. He got me there. You got me there.
What's your favorite pastime?
My favorite pastime?
Favorite hobby in general, you know, anything you could do.
Used to be playing the game, but really, man, like, as of recently, like, watching shows has been, like, a pastime. Like, I don't usually watch shows. Like, if you knew me 2-3 years ago, I wasn't the type to sit down and watch a show all the way through. You had to force me to watch something where I had to be really interested to watch some shit. But now I feel like media, it's like books, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I like to read, but I'm not big on reading books. I won't go catch a book every once in a while. I have like 2 series that I read all the time. But, yeah, like watching shows, man. Like I watch, you know, The Walking Dead. I just rewatched most of The Walking Dead, and I went back and watched Breaking Bad, you know what I'm saying? Just watching shows, you know, it's a good pastime. Daredevil, Punisher, Daredevil Reborn, you know what I'm saying? I'm tapped in with,
so
you know,
shows and movies, or right now you strictly on like just series?
Shows and movies. Me and my mom just watched Guardians of the Galaxy, was it 3? The one with Rocket's backstory.
I think I've seen all of them.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, man. Like that movie was really good, man. And like, you know, sometimes I forget that, you know, media, you know, it what does my mom always say? Art imitates life and life imitates art, you know what I'm saying? And that's when I watch media, you know, I try to like reflect on different things like that.
So I'm gonna jump right back into the favorites, right? We got to, but I do want to ask you real quick. It's a question I asked my partner, your partner, Tony Pablo.
Shout out Tony Pablo, man.
You're right here, really. In reality, do you consider yourself a family man? You touched on family and shit. You know what I'm saying? Do you consider yourself a family man, or is it more just like a love for your family? You know, I know 2 different types of people and shit.
Yeah. Well, I consider myself very loving of my family. You know, my immediate family is my mom, my little bro as of right now. You know what I'm saying? Shout out my cousin, shout out Juju, shout out my grandpa, and, you know, everybody within the range right now. Shout out my auntie, China, she about to get married and everything. But, you know, I love my family right now. Everybody doing their own thing. That's why I say I'm a family man when it comes to my immediate family. I'm always gonna be there for my cousins, and always gonna be there for my you know, my other family. But, you know, I don't talk to my family all the time, which, you know, I got to do better with. That's one of the things I said I was gonna do better with this year, is keep in contact with my family. Shout out my grandpa, my grandma, my poppy too. You know what I'm saying? They in Florida. We about to see them soon, but. My family's a big part of my life, you know, even if they not always around. You know what I'm saying? I'm always thinking about my fam.
I think that's all it takes to really be a family man, my nigga. So I say, yeah, definitely so. Shit, all right, back into the favorites. What's your favorite type of? We have our debacles, right? You know, I'm CEO of Big Backy Gang. What's your favorite thing to smoke?
My favorite rap?
Yeah. To smoke out of is what I should have said. Even if not a rap, even if a bong or something, you know what I'm saying?
Right now, we smoking out of the Irish Cream, Swisher Leaf. Man, not gonna lie to you, man, it's always been games of White Owls for me, but my favorite so far, it's White Owl Emerald. It's White Owl Emerald. That used to be a consistent, like, every time I go into the store, White Owl Emerald, because, like, it's like a green leaf or wrap or whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? It's not. I don't know. It make it feel like it's different than the other ones. Make it taste like it's different. Like it's hitting on some different shit rather than hitting on, like, you know, like some hard nicotine. Like it artificial, of course, still artificial and shit. You know, I already know how the White House is and shit, but yeah, I like Swisher Leaf and Backwoods. You know, it's just not what I smoke all the time. Definitely not.
Yeah. Hey. What's your favorite type of beats? Or / and who's your favorite producer?
My favorite type beats gotta be like the old X type beats, old XXX Tentacion type beats, old Ski Master Slim God type beats, old I fuck with Comethazine, y'all if y'all know Zodiac, but producers right now, I got 3 producers for y'all to go tap into. Y'all go tap into my boy I'm Dead. Y'all go tap into my boy Hot Wings Cola, Proud Hot Wings Cola on YouTube. And y'all go tap in with my boy Rudy. Y'all know about Proud Rudy, but Proud Rudy, we got some shit coming. That shit go hard, man. Shout out my boy Rudy. But yeah, everybody got like, you know, different genres of beats and shit that they be doing, especially Cola. He be doing all kinds of crazy shit with the beats. So y'all go tap into my boys.
Yeah. What's your favorite like element? Like, so you got, you know, fire, water, earth. You know what I'm saying? What's your favorite, like, let's say you could live within fire, let's say you could breathe within water. You know what I'm saying? What would you?
We need air, you know what I'm saying? That counts as an element, don't it?
Yeah.
But water, I've always been scared of water. You know what I'm saying? I don't like the ocean. I don't fuck with the ocean. That shit terrifying. You know what I'm saying? On some scary shit. But fire, it burns. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, it can create, it can destroy. But like air, you know, we need it, and to smoke and shit or some shit like that. I mean, we gotta breathe it in through our lungs on some shit. I mean, but element wise, like I read a book called Michael Vick. That's one of my favorite book series. Going back to the 2 book series that I be reading and shit. I fuck with this shit. It's got like electricity and shit, like what is it, lightning powers and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So electricity has always been like one of those forms of energy that I fuck with, if that's like, you know, the same realm of element.
It could be a, you know what I'm saying? It ain't on Avatar.
Yeah,
but at the same time, I think I consider that an element for sure. Hell yeah. So you consider yourself like a air electric type nigga.
Oh, so shit like that. Yeah, shit, yeah.
That's hard, shit. Okay. You ever watch Pokemon?
No, actually.
You haven't?
No.
So that means you only know the basic ones.
I know the basic ones, yeah.
What's your favorite Pokemon?
Raichu.
Okay.
Raichu.
That's hard.
Not Pikachu, Raichu.
Yeah.
I fuck with Digimon. Not as much. Like when I was a kid, I watched Digimon, but not Pokemon. Like specifically didn't watch Pokemon.
What's your favorite anime? Or you know, if you consider Pokemon an anime, if not, then what's your favorite cartoon or both?
Okay, so my favorite anime, Future Diary.
Okay.
Y'all go tap into Future Diary. That's a stepping stone anime right there. My favorite cartoon. Shit. I used to fuck with a lot of different cartoons, but by far, like the one that I watched the most on TV had to be Amazing World of Gumball. That shit was always on. Like that shit was always on.
So who your favorite characters in them shows? Cause I know Gumball. I don't know. What you say, Future Diary?
Future Diary.
I don't know Future Diary. So.
Shit. Uriel Minine from Future Diary. Y'all go, man. I think she 9th. If y'all know what that means, but you know, I'm not gonna spoil it. But you know, the premise of the anime is they got phones that can tell the future, and there's 12 users, and it's like a game to become God. Crazy work. But y'all go tap into it. And then Gumball, damn. Oh, wasn't it? what was the dinosaur girl name? Was it the girl? Was it the girl? Right, Tina. Right? It was Tina.
The big ass dinosaur.
That was yeah. Because it was like an episode where they were at the trash dump. Man, that shit used to have like I don't know. As a, like younger, I was just like I was always intrigued by that shit. That shit was alright. I fuck with Jurassic Park on some shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's hard. Alright, man, we're gonna leave the realm of the favorites, man. Yeah, that's y'all favorites from J1GSAW. Yeah, I know a little bit more about that. Shit. I gotta ask, right?
Yeah.
If you could have your dream setup, because I know you edit, I know that you want to record yourself and all that type of shit, what would it consist of?
Well, definitely like the stream setup for the game and shit, because I'd hop right back into streaming the game and shit if I had my setup and shit like that. But like, I think I'd have like a studio and shit right next to my shit, another computer for editing so I could like, switch in between. Like I had one computer. I could really have a TV on some shit for like the game, a computer for, music and shit, and then a computer for editing on shit like that. And then like, I don't know, like maybe like, I always imagine the lights and like the posters and shit, like different anime I fuck with and shit like that. But I think I'd have like a different table for like different activities like writing and shit like that, because I wouldn't do that all on one table and shit. So I'd probably have another table for like writing. What's that? Man, fuck with Shad, man. Yeah, man. Look at Shad, man. Hey, man. Look at my face.
Sickening nigga of the century of the studio.
Yeah, little menace, man. He over here going crazy, barking.
Yeah, you should have a different table for different activities like writing and shit. You could either get back into that. I'm kind of interested in the writing if you just talking about writing music or if you talking about writing other things, feel me?
Hell yeah, well shit, I write music and I'm trying to write a book right now. It's called Out of the Ordinary. I'm writing it right now. It's a little project. I've been working on this shit for a couple of years, I won't lie. But it's been like a personal project. It's on some X-Men, like, type shit.
Yeah. What's your author name?
My author name?
Your author name.
Shit, my author name? I haven't even really come up with no author name now. I gotta think about that shit, man. It might be Kramer or something like that. Okay. Something that have to do with Jigsaw. It's gonna have to be, it might be Russo, actually. I might do something like that.
Yeah.
Shit.
Alright, man, shit. We touched bases before on you wanting to get deeper into editing and getting the camera and things of that nature. Who's your favorite, like, industry or just cameraman at all that you know? And I know that we've done a lot of work, but don't say me type shit. Just to be
shit. I don't really know that many people who do that, that film shit and that photography, you know what I'm saying, especially videography, you know what I'm saying. I'm tapped in, but not really name wise, you know what I'm saying. I'm not really keen on that kind of thing, But behind the scenes work, you know what I'm saying, that's something that I'm just now becoming more interested in. So, I definitely should, read into, different people and shit who do that. And I like Lyrical Lemonade style videos and shit like that, if I could name someone, but I don't have a favorite, no.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Is there anything else you got coming out for these folks or that you want them to go tap into and shit like that?
It's that soon that Loomis shit about to drop. You know what I'm saying? That Loomis video about to drop. I got some other stuff coming. I'm doing a couple other things. Nothing too crazy coming out as of recently for Jigsaw. You know what I'm saying? I'm more working on the stuff on the inside, but y'all gonna see more from me soon.
Yeah. We touched on goals a little bit earlier. If you could perform at anywhere big or do any type of content anywhere, like Rolling Loud, on the radar,
We do like a summer stash or some shit like that. I don't know. Like I never really thought about it like that. You know, large scale wise or nothing, anything like that. But shit. I'd perform at rollout if I had the chance. If I blew up shit and they asked me to perform at rollout, I'd perform at that shit. I'd blow that shit up. Shit, they let me do fire and shit, all kinds of crazy shit. Like you know, my own set list. You know what I'm saying? And shit, I can pick my own songs to do and shit. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. I see your cover art and things of that nature. Me being who I am, I know that you make a lot of that type of shit, and you know, bless. What inspires? Like you say, you writing a book. You got the music. You got the art that you put behind your music, from the editing to the cover art. Like, what inspires your art?
A lot of what inspires my art is different experiences that I've been through, and like my mom will tell me a lot of times that um, to express myself in the best way I can, and sometimes with my art, you know, even with my old things that I wrote, I made reference to either anime that I was watching at the time, or you know things that I had been through, or made reference to things that I had been through, more or less. And I think that what inspires me the most is in my art the most is the is vibes, like different vibes. Like I like the vibe of, you know, the horror shit. You know what I'm saying? The vibe that, you know, the ominous of certain shit. You know what I'm saying? Like certain energies of certain things. You know, just make the music cool. Like you know how X's vibe was. You know how like you know other artists do with their you know personas and shit. So that's what I'm trying to do.
So, I think I know a little bit more about your story than you know other people and shit like that, right?
Yeah.
And I want to know like how you gonna bring all that shit together. Like you say, you gonna tell the story and then make it like a puzzle and bring it all to like. How do you plan on doing that?
Well, in a sense where it's like a puzzle, I'm gonna bring it all together through the music, like in different ways. Like, you know, there's gonna be little hints throughout different albums, and especially in like my video work and stuff, I'm gonna start leaving little hints, different things to reference things. Especially,
that's a hint in itself. Now they know where to go find the hint. So okay,
you know what I'm saying? But you know, y'all start catching on to certain things that I say repeatedly and stuff in the music, or you know, y'all start seeing things more. Y'all start to put the puzzle together and everything, and you know, it's a game, really. You know, I want to play a game type shit.
No, that boy said he the puppet for real.
Yeah,
Kramer for real.
Yeah.
No, you might have me invested. I know you say you got who you are, and then you got Jigsaw and shit like that. Like, shit. Do you ever find yourself like wanting to play a game in real life, like not just through the music, like want to play a game, motherfucker?
Yeah, I always find myself in a situation where it's like more instead of a game, it's make your choice. You know, that's also a thing about Jigsaw is make your choice, and I always feel like I'm the one playing the game. You know, when in the movie, Amanda has to play a game, and I think the third one. And when she makes her choice, you know, it costs her life. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it's not always life or death. But when it comes to your future, you know what I'm saying? Fear, your position and everything else, it'll make you do different things. You know?
Anyway, like, do you consider yourself a fearful person?
In ways, yeah. Cause I used to be afraid of shit like this, like being on camera, being on stage, just little things. Like I can't say I was like terribly afraid of it, but just afraid of just in general, like you know what I look like and everything else, and being self-conscious. But I feel like that can inspire you to change. You know what I'm saying? There goes Shaq. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm about to say, you wrapped that up perfectly, shit. As soon as he started barking and shit, man, we told y'all the menace. 100 minutes. We're gonna do a shag counter in this video. But nah, man. So, do you have any like funny, like you got into like, you know, they small, but at the end of the day, you know, they slightly deep in the sense of like, you know, stage fright and you know, things of that nature. So, do you have any funny fears? Like, for instance, mine would be one of my biggest fears because I'm not a very fearful individual. Jellyfish, like I'm scared of jellyfish. Like, do you have any?
Oh, being caught in the elevator with a lot of people. The reason why, this is a good reason. Y'all ever watched that movie Devil?
Nah.
Y'all never watched Devil before? Man, so the premise is a bunch of people get caught in the elevator, right? And one of them is the devil. And it's real scary, like terrifying. You don't know who it is. It's a really good movie though. Like, I really like the premise of the movie because it brings everybody who's in that situation, like, oh damn.
Okay.
It brings everybody that's in that situation together. Like, even the people that aren't in the elevator have something to do with the situation. I won't spoil the movie, but it's a really good movie. But it's the reason why I have fear of being stuck in elevators. Like, I don't want to be stuck in there with nobody crazy. Like,
alright. We gonna get a little substance in here, man. I like to ask everybody, brother. What was Jigsaw's come up like? Like what? Like, I'm talking about, could be, you know what I'm saying, last 3 years, could be from the day you was born, like whatever you would describe as your come up. How did that be?
Jigsaw's come up started after high school when I started working. I had a problem with buying weed, shit, buying clothes, being like, my mom called me a fashionista or whatever, but I don't really think it's like that. I think it was more of just like immature ignorance to certain things, but my come up was more like, okay, I had to lock in. So at one point, I was like, damn, my mom really needs me, you know, and that was like my driving force. After everything, after moving to Georgia and everything, I was in North Carolina, I moved to Georgia. Grandpa's health started depleting, you know what I'm saying? And I started to realize life getting real, so I had to start, you know, pitching in. And that was my biggest turning point. That was like my come up, you know what I'm saying? Because everything else was just me being immature before that, you know what I'm saying? I can't really say I was on no thugging or anything when I was young, but hard work became a necessity. And I just, you know, I did it for mom. You know, that was really what it was for.
I like to ask everybody as well, man. Sometimes things skip our mind. If we get to touch on anything, is it just anything else about you that you want these people to know, or just anything you want them to know in general?
And it's Jigsaw, man, you know. Go fuck with your boy, man. You know, I got music coming out soon, you know what I'm saying? It's the artist thing I want y'all to focus on, you know what I'm saying? It's the music, you know. The music gonna speak for itself.
Alright, man. Let these folks know something before we get up out of here.
Man, it's Jigsaw, man. Tap in with Soundwave Studios. You already know what the fuck going on.